You are 99.9% same as every other man that she has met. It's the 0.1% that makes her remember you. And it's not looks, money, or muscles. It's what lies beneath the surface. Perception, social intelligence, calibration, and how she sees you, how you understand her. And that's why in this video, we're going to discuss how understanding how women spend their money, her buying behaviors, versus how men spend money can benefit your dating, how you can 10x your dating by just understanding these key things. Then it does not matter how much money you have or how much muscles you have. If you truly understand this thing about women, how they operate from evolutionary perspective, then you can truly understand her. And then this will click something in her and then you will stay in her memory for a long, long time. So let's roll into it. We were driving to an event together a couple weeks ago. And on the way there, you told me incident that happened on the 8th of March, Women's Day. What you experienced there, like you were telling me women are buying crystals and then, we were having a laugh at it. But then we clicked into why is it like that? Instead of bashing women, every other red pill YouTuber or guru out there, instead of bashing women, I'm like, man, what if we understood that? I'm not saying you turn like into a guy who's into crystals, spirituality, blah. But if you could utilize that, if you could leverage that compared to, understanding from evolutionary perspective, how men spend money, what do they mean by that from, scientific and evolutionary perspective versus how women spend money and what can we learn from that? So first, I think it makes sense to dive into the tale of some feminist and something called She Society. So it's an event that happened here in Munich. Max had some fun observations there, what was going on, if the buying decisions, imagine if it's like a fair, like a seminar. So there's like multiple stalls, there are like, women empowerment speeches. Just imagine, like a feminist conference. People are, you go girl. So there's a section and then there's a section of manifestation. Yeah, Max, tell me, like, what did you see there?
Yeah.
Like, describe it for us. Like, what were you feeling and what were you doing there in the first place?
Yeah. So it was a very interesting experience there. So I was basically just hired by another event manager as a photographer because I've done a lot of event photography over the past 2 years. And then I joined him. And once I got there, I was really amazed. So it was 8th of March, International Women's Day. And it's that one day where we all know all the feminists on Instagram and TikTok, they go out and do their, let's call it hate speeches on men on those social platforms. So I didn't expect much, but I was really amazed by what I saw there and what kind of mindset and products I encountered there, right? So once I got there, it was in a very luxurious hotel here in Munich. I got there and I saw mostly women, of course, and women selling stuff to other women, right? So I went around, got my camera ready, walked around, did some photos here and there, and I just saw products and I joked to the guy I was there with, hey, let's be honest here, this is just crap that no man on earth would ever buy. Am I right? And he just looked at me and we were just bursting out in laughs because we knew it was
Define
true.
the crap. What is the crap that you're talking about, Max?
Yeah, so I saw like everything, crystal balls, some creams. I mean, it's good to pay attention to your lookings and your hygiene and all that stuff. And if you want to maintain skincare, for example, it's very good. But for us men, there's just like maybe 1 or 2 skincare products, whereas for women you see like hundreds and hundreds of different things like that, and not just skincare products like crystal balls and those other magic stones that they import from God knows where. And then there were like women selling those stones to other women. They were showing them, hey, you use this like this, and then you rub it on your skin, and then you manifest, and then everything will happen for you. And all the women were like, oh my God, really? I knew I had to do more manifestation. And I'm not bashing here right now. These were literally the talks I was paying close attention to.
What happened with the crystal ball? What did you saw with the crystal ball? Like, what was that about? That was amazing.
Yeah, so there was one stand with crystal balls, and there were many stands with like spiritual stuff, like religious signs, crystal balls, other stones. There was even some stand where they were just selling like fume machines. So a machine that you put on and it makes fume for you, and while it makes fume for you, you of course manifest. What else do you do? And the crystal balls, they were very funny because of course they look like shiny objects. A lot of women were gathering around, and it was basically just some device with some LED lights in it, and that was pretty much it. So there was nothing special behind it, right? And there were other stands where women were sitting in circles and doing meditations together, and like pointing their hands to their hearts, pointing their hands upwards, and doing manifestation stuff. So a lot of with manifestation. There were some good products as well, like clean water filter machines. So they were kind of interesting, but not so many women gathered around there. So all of the women were mostly gathering around those products for skincare, manifestation stuff, meditation stuff. And of course, there was one huge section where they were talking about diversity and work environments. Right, so there was one woman who was talking a lot about, women are not represented that much in work environments, this and that. I mean, that's a whole different topic for maybe another podcast episode. But we want to talk here more about why do women actually buy these things, right? And it was really hard for me to understand why are they buying this? Why are they so amazed? Why are they so drawn into it? And then you made that one good point because it talks to them in a whole different way. It talks to their emotions, right? And men, we can't be sold by things like that because we as men, we don't see any benefit from them.
So let's jump into it, right? So why it is like that? So let's go back in the hunter-gatherer days, right? So as we all know, men were hunters. They were preying. So they were our brains evolved to be very goal-oriented. Okay, this is a task. I have to achieve it. Boom. Right? So our brain were very logical, okay, task-oriented. So naturally, we were investing in tools, right? So that's one part of it, how men invest. You see, you buy drills, you buy some electrical device that makes your job easier, right? So you buy a new laptop, right? That's first thing why men invest. To make their life easier, which helps them get more power, more agility, right? Second thing why men invest is to have more status, to show, like, to increase in dominance hierarchy. Like having a watch doesn't show any like skill. It's like a status symbol. But what it does for men show it, okay, to tell other men, hey, I belong to this class now. And it also like kind of scare people off from, lower, okay, hey man, I'm powerful because I have this car, I have this watch, I have this house. So kind of scaring other men out there, right? So it's very competitive. So either it's tool that helps you get further, getting more power, or second is like, status symbol. So these are two primary reasons why men spend money. Okay. So that's how we evolved. Women, on the other hand, back in the days, right? They were more gatherers. Back in the days, they would collect some plant samples, which were interesting, which could be used in time of survivals, right? So women evolved to be generally more survival oriented because they could not hunt as well as men. Okay. So now that we know that is true, how does it apply to this situation of like investing into different things? Okay, the first thing is like survival. So men are more oriented towards present, and also for how it can benefit them in dating market. For example, when men spend money to show status symbols, it's generally to have like short-term dating advantages. Probably. If you're watching this, you probably, when you're on a date with a girl and if you want to impress her, if she's like, a bit attractive, you probably flex, tipping the waiter some extra, flexing with your card, right? So you're flexing, you buy a new toy, a new car. So men do that. Women invest money to be able to, for example, like why do women show that they are these expensive bags? Expensive like luxury vacations, right? It is to show to other women, hey, especially if they are in a relationship, they tell to the other women, hey, my man takes care of me. He is invested in me, so stay away. So it's kind of a signal to other women, hey, don't look at my man.
Yeah.
Don't look at my man. You know? You see the new bag he got me? You see the vacation he got me? So it's kind of a signal to other men, right? When they're in a relationship. Second one, let's say if she's a single, you know, we all see these girls on Instagram. They are flexing on vacation bags when they're single. Maybe they're just accountants, right?
Yeah. Accountants.
They're accountants, aka they have OnlyFans money or some money from sugar daddy, right?
Which, on the other hand, mostly men are generating for them. But
True.
that's a whole different story.
But to understand that why, because it was very fascinating for me as I was researching for this topic. So they do it to scare men who are in the lowest, in the lower tier. I think I used to think as well when I was a bit broke, student, I'm like, man, she is way too expensive. I could not possibly afford her. You know, she's too high maintenance, right? So women do it intentionally. So it kind of scares off men who are like kind of brokies, who are not affordable. Like, so it serves different purposes. It tells, okay, this is my new standard.
Yeah.
And okay, it kind of deters attention from men who are like broke, who cannot like afford her. You know, she's a Hermes bag or some Gucci or whatever, right? So they're going to Dubai, whoever sponsored that, but it kind of sets the new benchmark.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know that it's true. And also they're more oriented towards survival and future oriented. And they make their decision based on emotions, how it makes them feel. So our brains are also built different. So because our brains are built different, so women invest in things based on their feelings. For example, when men shop, we're like, hey man, go in, boom, grab this, grab that, get out.
Yeah.
I don't like to fucking just run around the shopping mall or whatever, right? It hurts me. But if you've probably seen it, like if you see a woman ever shopping online, she's just browsing, and then they like to explore around. So women are more exploratory because it's all about the feelings, right? So the crystal ball, it makes them feel a certain way because they feel like women make their also connections based on their social bondings, how they feel. So it's how it makes them feel that they invest in these things.
Because we all know that women are drowning in their own emotions and they react totally different depending on what time of the day it is. And this tool gives them like a reason or excuse and some sort of direction to go into some specific emotions, be it like manifesting or thinking about certain aspects of their life and then getting more clarity. It could be just some very cheap ring that you brought from right across the street and just tell her, hey, this is some magic thing that I got for you from this Women's Day thing here. And she will be as much invested into it, right? Because you just framed that object and it's now for her an excuse to go into some directions in her emotions and get more clarity with that.
So also one other factor that lies in there, right? So women are looking for more safety, certainty. So believing into spirituality, believing into this crystal ball, which is a way to express themselves, right? You see women are more like detail oriented. They take care of colors, their dresses and stuff, right? It gives them certainty. Okay, this crystal ball, it's how it makes me feel. And then, for example, like dating and when things are very chaotic in terms of finances, dating, relationships. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. And women don't like uncertainty.
Yeah.
That's why when they're curious about a man, they try to figure him out. Okay, I want to figure him out so that he's predictable because they like it more, right? So same thing happens with a crystal ball. It gives them a feeling of certainty. So they believe in external things when it comes to chaotic things like dating these days. That is the main reason to give them external way to feel certain.
Yeah. So especially with that certainty point that you mentioned, I saw it very, very good during those talks. So there were a lot of different talks from different women. So some entrepreneur women, some public speaker women. So women who, quite frank, accomplished something in their life. And now they were inspiring other women in this big hall to do the same. But the funny thing here was, so there were mostly entrepreneurial women who were talking about their business, what they accomplished, so on and so forth. And not even once I heard numbers. So no numbers of like, hey, this year or last year, me and my team, me and my company, we made like 2 million euros or something. I didn't hear that. They were mostly talking about how the work environment is changing, how they need to feel comfortable at the work environment, how team building is very important, all the HR type of things of businesses they were talking about. And they weren't talking about money at all. So for them, having a successful entrepreneurial business is like feeling good about their business and feeling that they accomplished something in their lives. And now it makes sense, right? So they are looking for some certainty in those businesses and some certainty to be more a part of the business world, right? Rather than just looking at the numbers, because a number wouldn't give so much certainty for a woman than just telling her, hey, girl, you're going to be safe in that work environment. This work environment is going to feel very, very good for you. So there's more certainty for a woman, whereas men, and I've been to a lot of different business events, men mostly or only talk about money. Right. And for men, this gives us more clarity and certainty when it comes to business, for example.
Yeah, I think you also see, for example, I see sometimes these business retreats. Business is like, is the excuse. So you go to Bali, for example, and then you talk about business. Yeah. However,
whatever
and then you are whatever that means. and then you are doing mindful meditation.
Yeah.
And somehow like you are doing business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could understand them better, but I'm trying to be as empathetic as possible.
Yeah, it's just a means of deducted from taxes. So that's pretty much it.
Now that I look at it, right? So as you said, men talk about numbers because numbers is a way to make the point of, okay, how close am I or how far I am from achieving my goal. Men do stuff, for example, when we hang out, we have a thing in mind. Okay, we're doing this activity. What is the goal of this activity? When women hang out, they're like,
Yeah. They're going all sorts of different directions. Right? Yeah, this is funny. So last week I met up with a girl that I've seen a couple of times.
Yeah.
Now, and then we were talking about, hey, how was your day? What did you do? And she was like, yeah, I met my girlfriend today at 1 p.m. Then we were going to grab something to eat. Then we ended up doing day drinking. Then we went there and here. And then I went back home 5 p.m. Then I felt like I'm sleeping. Then I woke up again. And it's just this whole mess that I could never integrate in my day. I'm like, hey, I'm awake right now. I need to get coffee. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's structured. I need to do things. And she's like, yeah, whatever feels like.
This is how they bond, man.
Yeah.
This is why they call them gatherers. They were telling stories back then.
Yeah, so the experience at that She Society event was very good because I saw women in a huge mass focused just purely on their emotions without letting anyone else be, let me say it, part of it, right? They were just purely on their direction, purely on confirming each other, may it be true or not, whatever they were saying at those events and selling products and during those speaker events. But I saw them gathered around being mostly unfiltered about what they feel and what their goals are. And this was very, very interesting, right? And I saw some guys who were there with their girlfriends, and you could clearly tell on the expression of their faces, they were like, yeah, right, we're here, baby. Yeah, just buy your creams. Those guys, they didn't want to talk that much. I mean, you can feel the vibe as a man, right, when he hangs around with a girl. And he was like, yeah, let me walk her to that Society event, and then I can bang her later at home again.
Yeah, I totally understand. Well, the cream point, right? So you have to understand, like, we men, because of we have higher T, we have a thick outer skin. So, for example, the girl asked me, "Hey, Hans, like, you have such a clear skin, amazing. What's your skincare routine?" I'm thinking, man, what's my skincare skin? I just wash
soap.
Not even soap. I'm like, I just use soap, like when I'm showering, but like when I wake up, it's just water.
Yeah.
So no, it's clear. Just drink water and then throw water.
Yeah. It's that simple.
It's that simple. Now let's get into how this knowledge can help us in our dating or mating better.
One example that comes up in my head and really got clear to me once I thought about this, when you brought the idea up and we were talking in the car to the event. Yeah, so there's this, in the whole dating market, there's this one side of men who are totally bashing buying flowers for a woman. So be it like the first date, the second date, or in your relationship with her, doesn't matter. And the other side of those whole manosphere just says, yeah, you have to buy her flowers because to you have to show her that you're invested in her, right? And of course, women will tell you to buy her flowers because this gives her a bit more guidance in her emotions, right? And for me, it was always like, yeah, I will only buy flowers with her once I'm in a relationship with her or I'm closer dating her, right? But now that we know that, now that we know, all right, flowers for a woman, it's not necessarily about the flowers, but it's just this emotional statement. Now it becomes clearer for me. So depending where you are in your dating journey with one specific girl, you now have a better understanding of when to buy flowers for her, right? When you guys are more dating, when there's more spiciness and energy, when you guys are seeing each other, then it would make sense for you to buy flowers for her, but not to necessarily just impress her with money.
So flowers, or why men gift, is just to convey to a woman, so for her to feel more safe, because she's always worried if you will lose interest in her. Because women generally, they don't want men to invest emotionally into other men. For example, when men go to the route of infidelity, she asks, okay, do you love her? That means, is your emotions, are your emotions invested in her?
Yeah.
So when you give her flowers, which, as Max said, you should do it, especially in this environment, once you are already in a relationship with her. Otherwise, she will label you as a guy who is a beta, who is like, like other guys in the past. So first you have to be engaging with her mating already. Let's say a couple of weeks, whatever, months. Then you can, so flowers, or whatever, gifting, smalls, whatever, is a sign, to women, okay, I still like you, I'm into you. So this is my sign of showing interest. So that makes sense. Before, it doesn't really make a difference because you have to first see if she's even interested in you.
Yeah.
Would she even want emotional attachment from you?
Yeah.
So it's to strengthen that bond.
Yeah, that's the point, because there are a lot of other examples, and this is what men scare away at the same time, right? When women make fun of a man bringing flowers to a date. It's not that the man brought flowers to the first date. It's just because of the fact that she's not pretty sure. Does she like you? Is she really into you? And bringing flowers then generally to the first date doesn't make any sense because you don't know if she's invested. But if you would know that she's invested, for maybe, for example, after the first date, for the second date, then it would make sense probably to bring flowers or some other thing for her, because now your guys are meeting up for the second time and now she might be more emotionally invested into you. But for the first date, it doesn't make any sense. Same thing, for example, for marriages, right? So there are a lot of videos out there on Instagram and TikTok where men propose to women in the public, and then there's either just one reaction where the woman is like totally into it, starts crying, or the woman just runs away because there were already some signs of not having a good relationship before that, right? Proposing to a woman is just this emotional statement that we were talking right now, right? It's the same as flowers, but just a strong emotional statement. And of course, she will yes with that emotional statement if she's already drawn into you.
How can we use that? Like, for example, I'll give you a recent example. I'm dating this girl and then she's telling me, before I went on a date with you, because you had Instagram, right? And then she hadn't gone on a date with a man like for months. So I was like her first date. Okay. And then she's telling me, Hans, I did my due diligence, investigated, because I have my full name. Yeah. So she see my Instagram, who is he hanging out with, my highlights, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So she invested good amount of energy before she showed up on the date. Mm-hmm. And she even checked out my LinkedIn. She even checked out my YouTube. Yeah. Man, like, imagine like how much investment that is. So why am I mentioning that, right? So I knew that my archetype of woman is like this, right? Mm. So she's into that. If she doesn't like it, if she doesn't like me being or going to these places, whatever, then she will be automatically repelled. But I think your Instagram and my Instagram, it's, I would say it's definitely, it repels women who are looking for a husband. I would agree to that. Mm. But it definitely still casts a wide net. There's guys, very social, leader of the men, fun, risk taker, socially approved, and also very highly triggers like preselection. Mm. Other women trust this guy, like this guy, find this guy attractive. So we are triggering these triggers using our Instagram profile, and that's also what we heavily focus on Instagram. So imagine if you have no Instagram, no pictures, right? And recently we got a client as well. He's like, man, girls are ghosting me. I match with the attractive girls, but they ghost me. No, it makes sense because they did not get to do the due diligence. And Instagram helps to do that, right?
Yeah.
So you see girls, they just text you out of the blue. Hey, Max, how are you doing? It's been a long time. If you were not posting on Instagram, that would not have happened. Imagine you're just cold approaching, like, or you're just using dating apps and using WhatsApp, right? There's a limit. But if you just trigger, different triggers, what they have, which ties into their reproductive or safety, security, a better man. I got my mom like this amazing vacuum cleaner. It's like automatic. It saves her a lot of time, blah, blah, right? So it's like, it's this robot. It like sucks really well. Sucks the dust off the carpet. Boom. Yeah. It's like very strong.
Yeah.
Right? So she's happy, her job is easier, she can save time, blah, and then, it's easier. So as men, we think, okay, this tool can save me time. Boom. It saves me time. It makes my job easier.
And this tool called woman.
Okay, besides that, I'm talking about my mom right now. Okay? So she's like, she bloody thanked me here. Aunt, thank you. I like it. Blah, blah. And then same evening, my dad comes and then she's like gifting her this bracelet, right? So there's a bracelet with some stones around. Like there's some nice colorful stones, right? Boom. Like there's like heart stones. She's looking at it. And then I see her eyes light up. She's in awe. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. I'm thinking, man, like, the stone doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just there. But that vacuum or that device saves a lot of time. Imagine like hours monthly it can save. Yeah. But like she is reacting to it, the stone in awe. So that tells me, man, like, the way we process or make our decisions, like buying decisions, it's way too different. So then we should be able to understand, okay, how can we use this to make our dating lives better, to adjust our mating strategies, right? So most men, well, they think, okay, if I just have more money, if I have more muscles, if I look a certain way or speak a certain way, it will help. No doubt. It definitely puts you up there. In the top 10%, right? So we go for girls like who are very, very attractive. Like they don't really roll with the guys who don't have that, right? So once you are at a certain level, you top 5%, 1%, whatever, 10%. Your competition is every other man who looks like you. Yeah. So you have to find a contrasting behavior, which leaves a lasting impression. And in my experiences, what I found is once you make a woman feel that you truly and deeply understand her, not saying that you can be broke and fat, not saying that. So you have that already because you are in this pool of men who are very highly competitive. So you are going for the same women, right? So then you have to be contrasting because women don't see how much money you have, right? So they only see the lifestyle. So if every man has the same lifestyle, the only factor is, okay, this man has big house and then he has a bigger house. Yeah. But you still see men who are broke, they still get the hotter women. It's because they are able to make them feel understood. Yeah. So how can you do that? You understand, okay, how a woman behaves. She's driven by emotions. You think, man, like if I give her this tool, if I gift her this, if I take her to places, she will make her feel different, right? So if you, for example, it's like a wide variety of nets, right? So just look at her Instagram and see like what kind of activities she's doing and try to assess what could her personality be, what emotions are driving her. Some women are into learning. They get their emotions like a hamster between the ears. It runs when they learn something new. Some women are into more colors. So if you design your, let's say you are, for example, we talk about social events, if you design like a container event or like, a place to hang out and then it's driven to that, she will instantly resonate with you. It will just contrast difference between you and other men like very, very big. So that's how you make a lasting impression because you are connecting, hitting her emotions. And you, of course, like you don't have to be emotional. Just, think about, okay, man, if I do this, because then she will think, okay, damn, this guy truly and 100% understands me. And that is what women, mean by, okay, we have chemistry. Yeah. We have chemistry so much in common. Is when you understand her. Yes. Yeah. When she's like, okay, man, this guy is amazing. He understands me. He is my man. And that's when the money and everything doesn't matter.
Yeah, I noticed that recently when we were eating out with a bunch of girls, and then we always talk about those things. Hey, who are you dating currently? How's it looking? What's your opinion on this? What's your opinion on that? And of course, if you ask 10 girls about how a guy could make himself attractive for you, none of the girls will say something like, yeah, I really like it when he takes like days to respond. I really like it when he's so busy that he ignores me, when he texts me short texts, but they respond to that, right? What all these girls always say is like, yeah, I really like it when the guy says to me clearly that he wants to date me exclusively. What they actually mean, hey, they really like it when they get some emotional security from that guy. But once you do this as a guy, and I'm like specifically saying this here, like as a guy, they won't respond to it. And the big difference here is because they're not drawn emotionally into you yet, right? So it doesn't make any sense to do something like this on the first date while they're not already invested in you. But once they're a bit more invested in you, once they got to know you, once they feel the chemistry, once they see, especially through Instagram over the course of some time, that you're maybe in the same, that you're maybe interested in the same things, then they're more likely to respond to those things, right? But they already have to be invested in you, and they only come from that standpoint, right? So a guy they already like, and if that guy that they already like does this like love clarification or whatever you want to call it, then of course they might be more attracted to it. So that's the big difference here.
While we were at this table, another discussion popped up, which is like, why do men focus on too many women? Then you have to think, man.
Yeah.
The man you are attracted to is able to do that.
Yeah.
If a man is not able to do it, right, then you wouldn't date him.
Yes.
So I personally think that if you are starting out, right, you should be dating 3 to 4 women, multiple, right? If you are less experienced, if you don't know, how to like see red flags, how to test behavior, right? Imagine like you spend 6 months, 1 year in a girl, and then she had red flags, and then she's not even your type. You just wasted this opportunity window. You could have learned another woman at the same time. And if you're not able to have that abundance, that's another problem, right? That means you are not able to trigger all the right attraction triggers.
Yes.
Your Instagram or your social life is not on point.
No.
Even though Instagram can be faked as well. So the real in-person circles, the effect of people around you is now more stronger than ever. Because every guy can put a headshot on his dating app. Every guy can fake some, him standing in front of a car with, AI is getting advanced and advanced. You're becoming like every other man. But one thing that remains all the time, or remains like uniform, is how other females or how other people respond to you.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, that means you will not have true abundance. And you need to have that, especially if you're starting out, right? If you just invest all your energy in the wrong type of women or wrong women, right? You're doomed. Like you waste time and then you kind of are in this negative energy. But instead, if you have like 3, 4 women that you're dating, right? Doesn't have to be for long. I think you know it like in 3, 4 months, which is the right one, right? Or maybe not all 4 of them. I think you realize in 2 months, okay, this one has this, this. So you're kind of weighing down the pros and cons.
No.
That's, I think, a better way for men to date.
You want, of course, a female who can assist you in your lifestyle, because as a man, you should be busy anyways with achieving your goals. And you want, of course, a female that can make you feel better, that can help you relax in the evening, and that doesn't like bother you with her problems that much. And so that's why you have to test out different females for you to decide on one female to maybe make family with or something, right? But of course, a man is more attractive for them when he's surrounded by females, and those girls respond positively to him, because those girls, they already give the signal to that one girl who's interested, hey, this man has something, and they give her this emotional guidance, this emotional security, right? Because when that man wouldn't be surrounded by other females, the girl would still be unsure if he's like a good fit. But if he's surrounded by them, he sees, all right, he's surrounded by them, and that's why this gives me more guidance in my emotions, and I can already feel more safe around him. So that's why Instagram works so well, because you can display those qualities. You can show yourself being surrounded by female friends, traveling, being in cool places, getting positive reactions from other girls. And when they see that, they already know, all right, there's some security for me. These girls, they show me clear guidance and I can be emotionally safe in front of him. So that's why pre-selection works so well. And that would be basically the explanation for pre-selection.
You explained it very well, because women have to invest energy for deciding the right man. But if they see him like so many girls who are like equally attractive, they seem cool, they like this guy, they might be dating this guy already. That's why, they're curious about it. Okay, which one is she doing things with? So that kind of creates this jealousy and then curiosity. So it helps you regardless as well. So I totally agree with that. And also like knowing this, what we talked about today, knowing that women purchase or make their buying decisions for things and also men emotionally. So instead of ridiculing them, what if you use this information, because other manosphere guys tell them, hey, women are like this dumb hoes or bimbos, then you will attract women who's actually like that. Because then you are not able to understand them, right? But if you are already doing everything and you do this small thing on top, so women will truly connect with you. Okay, this is the man, he truly understands me. Because this builds a good emotional connection. Because they want to feel understood. And also, who are the men who can make women feel understood? The men who actually understand women, the men who have experience.
Yes.
So even if you don't have experience, but you understand this and you utilize this information to build frameworks. Okay, how can I make her feel that I truly understand her, right? So this gives her, of course, she has to be attracted to you. Not saying that you can live in your mom's basement. We have to give this input time and again, right? So if you are already top 10% man, if you're attractive enough, right? So, or even if you're a student, right? Just doing this one thing can put a contrast to other men that she's saying, okay, this man, I like this man. That's why you see women date guys who are broke. Women date guys who are maybe less attractive, because on paper it doesn't make sense. But that guy is doing something that other men fail to do.
Yes.
And that is connect with her on emotional level. It sounds like a bit woo-woo, but trust me, when you get this right, she will be all over you.
Yeah, because I've seen other guys with money who fail with women. So I know through other guys, and I've seen this guy I'm talking right now in person 2 or 3 times. He's like a lawyer. He's very wealthy from what I know. He's in his late 30s or mid 40s. I can't recall it anymore. But he's very, very much struggling with dating, because from what I heard, he's just trying to lead with money and trying to impress girls with money, buying them dinners and flowers and all that stuff, and just trying to force that emotional connection with money and with objects. But you can't really do that. So you have to first somehow come on her radar, of course, in a very intelligent way, without being perceived as this guy who just only serves the purpose of being a provider. And then from there on, utilize your money in a very intelligent way.
Yeah, I mean, money is a tool. It's an amplification, right?
Yes.
Money gives you access, but it cannot really guarantee you get the girl. For example, I've seen guys who organize these big parties and blah blah, and the guy's a broke DJ or even the bartender, he gets the girl that he's after. He paid for everything, and the guy who's behind the bar, he just happened to have the riz. What is the riz? Riz is activating her emotions. It's all about emotions at the end of the day. It's never about how good your Instagram looks, how much muscles you have, or how much money you've got. Right? If you are not able to engage with her on emotional level, nothing matters.
So that's why, for example, Dan Bilzerian, right? People always say he only attracts girls because of his money, right? But on the other hand, you see a lot of other guys, maybe 10 times more other guys who have the same amount of money as he has, and they're still struggling with girls. These are men who are pedophiles or just pay hookers constantly and they feel miserable, right? So, but then just understood how to trigger the emotions of a woman, and that comes only through experience. And at some point, of course, you can exponentially grow that experience, but you need to get experience as a guy with women. And of course, in today's day and age, see to fix your social media. Be perceived as a guy full of attractive triggers full of cool lifestyle activities, and of course display some sort of pre-selection on your social media, because your social media is your landing page. Everyone uses, especially Instagram, and if you're not utilizing it, you're always just going to lose to the guys who are doing it right.
So just to wrap it up, if you want to trigger attraction, Instagram is a good way to do it because you can generate passive attraction. You build a profile once, takes effort, which is a good thing. Because everything that takes effort, that means more guys would be reluctant to say that. I think I hear it from all the time. Hey man, I can just use AI to do what you're doing. Oh. That's exactly the point. Because if it was so easy, then it will not be as valuable.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing that fixing on Instagram is a bit harder. There is a bit of an entry point to make it look attractive. That's the first point. Passive attraction, trigger all attraction triggers, make her feel safe and secure, because they look for safety and they look for highest possible option, safest, already trusted from social proof. Second thing, using pre-selection, and you don't have to worry about dating. So ultimately, you can find the right one or focus on other areas of your life, because I know most of us, we are looking for the right one and we want to improve in other areas of life, but we just feel, hey man, we have to fix this.
Yeah, one thing to make very clear here. So when we talk about fixing your Instagram, it's not just this one-time fix, right? So it's not that you just go on some AI tool and just fix your Instagram with some cool AI pictures. And I can 100% tell you can't fake the pictures with AI. Maybe in a couple of years, I don't know, but the pictures we're doing, you can't really fake them, especially the videos. And it's not just this one-time job. What we're teaching here in the Black Swan system is building up a lifestyle so that you constantly have more and more content and things to do that you can show off on Instagram. It's not just this one-time fix. So you can drop all the ideas about faking something with AI on your Instagram, because stuff like that won't work, because AIs only work on the data that they can be fed with. And these are basically just medium average data, and everything that's average, everything that everyone has access to, becomes ultimately unvaluable. All right, guys, that's it for this podcast episode. I hope you found it very, very valuable. And if you need assistance to fix your Instagram, and not only fix your Instagram, but develop a lifestyle that makes women, high quality, 10 out of 10 women, all the girls that you follow on Instagram, but they don't follow you back or reply to your DM. If you want to make them drawn into you, if you want to meet them, date them, hang around with them, do cool activities with them, then this is your chance. Go to the link in the description down below and schedule a call either with me or Ans, and then we will look at your situation, where you are right now, where you want to go, and develop a customized plan for you. So see you in the next one.